welcome back to Birth Baby Beyond. Today's video is going to be all about weaning your baby onto solids, in particular the way that I do it with my babies, which is using a baby-led weaning approach. I'm going to start right from the very beginning. So what to look for to know when your baby is ready, what the guidance is around sort of the appropriate time to start and why that guidance is in place, and then what the differences are between baby-led weaning versus traditional puree weaning, and some of the benefits that we have found and why it might be suitable for you and your family. Of course, you have to make the right decision for you and your family, and no matter what we're talking about. But my husband is downstairs with the two boys, and I thought I would quickly sneak up with a cup of tea in my sweet new booby mug, which I'm mildly obsessed with. Better take a quick slurp. Hot tea, nothing beats it. So I'm here with my scruffily self to just sit down and chat about what we've been doing, what works, ways that has worked in my life, and how I've been able to feel a little bit more relaxed about weaning this time around. So when it comes to weaning your baby, the guidance is, according to the World Health Organization, to start around the 6-month mark. Why is that, many of you will ask? And when we look at our baby's intestines, so their tummy, they have kind of like a wave-like sort of consistency. So the sort of gaps between the cells, so that intercellular gap is starts off quite large when they're newborns and then slowly closes, and generally around the 6-month mark is when it's completely closed. If you were to start any earlier than that, what happens is, because there's a little bit more permeability between the cells inside their GI tract, is they're more likely to develop sort of inflammatory sort of illnesses and diseases down the line, more likely to have reactions to certain foods, intolerances, and that kind of thing. That being said, I tend more so to look at signs of readiness in my babies. So I kind of take a more individualized approach. The 3 things you want to be looking for is that your baby is able to sit up unaided, so without any kind of support. They should be able to sit by themselves, that they are able to bring their hand to their mouth purposefully, so whether it's finding something, grabbing it and putting it to their mouth just to kind of explore, or whether that's food when it comes to weaning. And the other one then is a lack of that tongue thrust action. So you want to make sure that if you were to give your baby something on a spoon, for instance, that more of it would be to be taken in, as opposed to that tongue thrust action, which is to be spitting it out. So they're the 3 things that we look for. Every baby is slightly different. So with my first boy, Atticus, he really wasn't all that fussed to be starting food around the 6-month mark. So we waited, and he was more like 6.5 months actually. Now with that, you want to, the other thing that kind of comes up with that sort of 6-month mark is that around that time, our baby is kind of depleted all of their iron stores that they have had since birth. So you want to start with kind of nice iron-rich foods. So for us, that would be like egg yolks, broccoli, that kind of thing. If you eat meat, nice chunk of meat, that type of stuff. So six-ish months is when we would start. For this time round, Archer was really keen to go, really interested in it, and it's just kind of taken off. So for me, I am quite a laid back parent, but that doesn't, I think part of that is because I wouldn't know what to do if we were to run into a spot of bother. So if you are maybe running on a sort of a more anxious side of things, and you're worried that your baby were to having a choking incident, or wondering about the what ifs, please know that if you were to go down the route of baby-led weaning versus using sort of pureed foods, there isn't a huge sort of increase in the incidence of choking over one versus the other. In fact, research will tell us that those babies who are self-feeding, because they're sort of preparing themselves for the process of chewing and eating, having food in their mouths, tend to have less choking incidents than the alternative, which is babies who are spoon-fed, where the food is directly put into their mouth. There's lots of other benefits to this, which I'll talk about in a second, but if you think you know all of the stuff, if you are a nurse, if you are a midwife, if you are a doctor, I would still encourage you and your partner and whoever your infant's childcare provider is to do, or make sure that it's up to date, their infant CPR course, so that you know what to do and how to know the difference if your baby is choking, and if they require immediate assistance, how to know what that is and what that looks like, and have it be something that's instinctual. You know exactly what to do, so it's not something that you have to be worrying about. That being said, when you're starting weaning, you want to be at eye level with your baby, watching them like a hawk at the very beginning, because your babies, their gag reflex is a lot further forward when they're first, at the very beginning stages, and when they're smaller, you will notice your baby gagging a lot. I should really try and insert some clips if I can here of both Archer and Atticus doing a whole lot of gagging. It doesn't look like your baby is enjoying food, but it's very normal for them, and they will continue to reach for it and they will continue to look for it. When it comes to the sorts of foods that you can offer your baby, first of all, you want to make sure that they are seated upright in a really good, sort of solid, sturdy seat. We actually use a little clip-on seat, which isn't ideal, but your baby should have some sort of, they should be able to have their feet pressed against something. They should be able to feel really safe in their seated position. So when they're safe in their seated position, it's up to you whether or not you want to, during the summertime, maybe just strip your baby down altogether if they're going to get messy, or if you want to have a full bib on them. I've actually brought the bib that I got for Archer this time around because he's more of a winter baby now when it comes to weaning. This is fantastic. It's actually from the brand Popolini, but it's a full size, what's this material called, like a terry cloth material, clips at the back and has little cuff sleeves here, so it means I can just drape it over whatever outfit he's wearing, and then pop it into the wash afterwards. So I just got 3 of these, and I'll just rotate them, keep them clean, because whether you are Puree baby weaning, or doing a mixture of both, or doing baby-led weaning, it gets messy. I have some lovely blog posts that I've done down below, that I'll link down below, on kind of the benefits of one sort of route versus another, so I won't get too much into that in this video. This is kind of just getting started on weaning, on baby-led weaning. So first things first, little bib. There's certain kind of things that are a little bit maybe gimmicky that you maybe don't need but can be quite helpful. So one of the things that I've got this time around is a crinkle cutter. So it's literally a chip cutter, but you can use it to cut fruits, to cut maybe an avocado, things that are generally quite slippy and are more difficult for your baby to grip, as opposed to maybe coating it in like breadcrumbs or almond meal or something if you've already introduced nuts. It's a nice way to give them a little bit more to hold on to. Other things that I bought one of these little trays. This one is from a company called Mushy, but I actually bought it from the Wild Child website, and that's a silicone tray that sits in front of your baby, so it means that no matter what sort of messes they make, as opposed to cleaning the whole table, you can just pick this up and throw it under the tap, so that's really handy. Underneath my babies as well, with Atticus, I would just put an oven tray, clean oven tray underneath, so it meant that when he was dropping things, I could just pick them back up, and as opposed to it having to go straight into the bin and there being a lot of waste, I could re-offer the food. So that's really nice. An alternative, maybe cheaper alternative to buying a specific mat, would be to get a cut of oilcloth, so sort of cut of cute tablecloth that you're not using, and have that underneath your baby, so it's nice, easier option to clean. In terms of utensils, there are 2 cups in particular that I like for baby-led weaning style weaning. The first one is the Cogni Kids cup. This is fabulous. It's great. It's just been used, you can see. It's great for grip. Archer adores this, so great for smaller babies, and he'll bring it right up to his mouth and you can see him kind of lapping the water up like a little kitten. So cute. The other one that I absolutely love is the Deuty Cup. Again, I'll link all of these down below if I can. This is fabulous for self-feeding with the 2 handles, and it's really easy with the tilt that it has to kind of teach sort of self-feeding. We didn't go and get fancy spoons and silicone spoons and things like that, because we had a sweet little wooden one at home, and it was actually from our sugar bowl, but it's great because he can kind of munch on that. I'm not worried about the sharp sides or anything, and it works really nicely. It doesn't heat up or anything like that. So sometimes if we are doing, well, we're pretty much exclusively doing baby-led weaning, I will do like pre-filled spoons. So if we're doing like porridge or whatever, I will pre-fill the spoon, preload the spoon, and give that to him or leave it on the table and he'll pick it up and feed himself. So when it comes to where to start, there is some research that indicates starting with more bitter vegetables. So for us this time around, that is the route that we went. We actually started with a big head of broccoli and a crinkle cut slice of avocado for Archer, and it was actually Christmas Day when we started, so he was a few days shy of 6 months, and he had a little glass of water and his avocado and his broccoli, and I would sort of cook things. The idea is that you cook things to the consistency that either you're able to mush them or mash them between your ring finger and your thumb, so you can tell there's like not a whole lot of strength there, or like a baby would, whether they have teeth or some teeth, no teeth, any teeth at all, that if you were to cover your teeth with your lips, you should be able to mash whatever food it is. So for us that meant cooking the broccoli a little bit more or more than al dente that we would normally do, and then the avocado was really ripe, so it was nice and mushy. But that being said, you can also really well cook a big breast of chicken and let your baby munch away on that. So that's what we started with, the sort of the avocado and the broccoli. You want it to be like that soft consistency, but you also want it to be longer than your baby finger. So the idea is when your baby is very small, they don't have their pincer grasp yet, but they do have their big, so they're able to grip things with their whole hand. So if they were to grip, say, a baton of carrot or whatever, they were only going to ever be able to eat that top part that comes out. So be prepared for there to be lots of little chunks left behind, and those are the bits that your baby physically cannot get into their mouth. So that's kind of a start. Start with sort of softly well cooked veggies, fruits, and then work your way towards kind of like your meats and things like that. Starting with kind of good sources of iron is a really good way to build that iron storage back up again. If you're continuing to breastfeed, sort of managing breastfeeding or bottle feeding around your solid meals is you want to be leaving sort of feeding your baby and then leaving about a half an hour before offering that solid meal. And you want to start with just one meal a day, thinking about it as a skill, not putting heaps of pressure on it, knowing that you can sort of slowly build it up from there. And it's always a lovely idea to do or update your CPR infant first aid course, just so that you can kind of have that peace of mind and know what the differences are. I'm going to try my very best to link all of these little products and things down below, but also try and link some videos that quite clearly show choking versus gagging. With choking, of course, your baby's not making any sound. They will generally do that kind of universal sign of going to their throat, where they will be changing colour, they will not be breathing. With a baby who's gagging, they will be gagging as if they're going to vomit. They'll do lots of so it's quite gross if you're but to be prepared, there'll be lots of it. Very, very normal, great sign of a healthy baby. Have fun weaning. It's very exciting, but it can also be quite emotional. So I am thinking of you if you're going through that process at the moment. And let me know what approach to weaning you took down below. What food you started with. I love hearing that. What was your first solid feed for your baby? I'll see you in the next one.